What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down the best lifts that wide receivers can do in the gym to improve their skills. Let's get started with this video. Also, fellas, if you are a wide receiver and would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches this off-season, we are going to be traveling out to 12 more states across the country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps this year. Next up on our camp tour, we'll be coming out to Dallas, Texas, and then we'll be heading out to the DMV area, St. Louis, Missouri, Honolulu, Hawaii, Boston, Massachusetts, Cleveland, Ohio, Austin, Texas. Then we'll be coming out to Newark, New Jersey, Seattle, Washington, Denver, Colorado, and finishing off the tour in Los Angeles, California. So if you guys are local to one of those cities or states and would like to get some work in with us, 2 whole days of training, 8 hours total for wide receivers and quarterbacks. We'll also have DBs out there on the second day for the wide receivers to work one-on-ones. Check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our off-season camps. We look forward to meeting all of you. Let's get started with this video. All right, guys, so the first exercise that I want to talk about is a Bulgarian split squat. So why is this so great for wide receivers? How we're going to kind of break down this video is I'm going to explain how this is going to help you guys in a live game situation, and then I'm going to show you guys the exercise and then show you the exercise full speed. So Bulgarian split squat is essentially where you would put 1 foot on a bench. We're going to be doing this with dumbbells. You could also do this body weight if you're on the younger side of things, or you can do it with a barbell if you're on the more advanced side of things. So you're going to put 1 foot on this bench, you're going to kick your extended foot out, and all we're going to be doing is just simply a squat. Now, why does that help? How does that help wide receivers? Because what do we have to do? Like, let's say I'm running a route, like a comeback route, a curl route. At the top of the break, I'm going to be snapping down, right? I'm going to be dropping my hips violently. I'm going to be trying to bring in my chin to my knee so I can get low and decelerate on a dime to get out of that break. Now, this works on that strength, that stability, and that balance of that position where we call the trigger step, which is the first step with us snapping down. When we snap down, so you guys can see I'll turn to the side, we have to make sure that we are getting low. I'm bending at my hips. I'm not bending at my waist forward, falling forward, because I'm going to fall off balance. But we need to have strength in this position, because on every single route, what do we have to do? We have to be able to self-fade, and we got to get this DB to backpedal and turn and open up his hips. Now, it's much easier said than done to cut on a dime while I'm running full speed to get that DB to backpedal out of there. So that's what this kind of works on. So again, you hold these 2 dumbbells, you're going to put 1 foot on the bench like so, and all you're going to do is sit at your hips. Don't let that knee cave in. Try the best you can to keep your toes forward and shin straight, and we're just going to drop down and pop up. Now, I would say a good rep range for this would probably be around like maybe the 6 to 12 rep range, depending on what kind of weight you're working with. But that is a great beginner and more advanced exercise to do for wide receivers in the gym. All right, guys, the next exercise I want to talk about is a heel elevated goblet squat. So what you're going to be doing, you could hold the kettlebell, you could hold the dumbbell while you're doing this, but essentially what you're going to do, you need a weighted plate, right? So this weighted plate, that's a 45. If you feel like you want to maybe stack another plate on top of a 45, like a 10 or a 15, that would be fine. But essentially what you're going to do is you're going to elevate your heels on this weighted plate. So you're essentially on your toes. You're going to hold the dumbbell or a kettlebell, like I said, and we are going to be doing a squat. Now, the reason why this is so important is because we cannot let my knees go past my toes when I do this kettlebell squat. If I'm going like this, I'm not getting anything out of that. Now, how does that translate to the wide receiver position? When you guys are running a route, like let's go back to that comeback example like we were talking about in the last clip or the last exercise. When you guys snap down onto a break, remember, what are we trying to do? We're trying to drop my butt down, bring my chin to my knee, and get low, right? So the mistake that a lot of guys will make is, like I said, they don't have the leg strength to be able to do this violently and break on a dime, right? So that knee will go past their toe, they'll drift forward, and they won't have any balance and won't be able to make a sharp cut. So this strengthens the exact position that we need to get to. On this, the heel elevated squat, you can't just go like this. You can't just bend your knees. You have to drop your butt down to be able to get low, because we're not allowed to let my knees go past my toes. And that's why the heel elevated is so important, because on an actual route, we cannot let my knees go past my toes. So, like I said, you're just picking up this dumbbell, holding it like in a goblet squat position, toes or heels elevated, I should say, just dropping your butt down and just popping right back up. I think a good rep range for this one would probably be around 10 to 12. You could do that body weight. If you don't have a weighted plate, maybe you're at home trying to do this exercise, just elevate your foot on something. Elevate your foot on like the edge of a wall, whatever it might be, but just do something to get those heels elevated to force you to drop your butt down and build strength where we need to build strength. All right, guys, so the next two wide receiver gym exercises that I want to talk about are variations of a box jump. So I'm sure everybody's heard of box jumps before, right? Where you get a box, you just jump up onto it, you're trying to be as explosive as possible. It's a plyometric exercise to work on those fast twitch fibers and generating explosion from your hips, which is why it's so great for a wide receiver. Now, this next exercise is going to be great to help wide receivers when making a speed cut. So like, let's say, you know, for example, I'm running like a post route. Like, let's say it's zone coverage, DB's off, and I have to run a post. So I want to be able to come at him. I'm running full speed. I want to cut off of 1 foot and be able to drive out of that break and go. Now, a lot of guys lack the strength and the explosion in that single leg to be able to do that. More importantly, they lack the explosion. So this exercise can help with that explosion and help with you also be able to absorb force onto that cut leg. So all we're doing, you're going to need a bench. You do this on your back porch, you do this on the edge of your bed, whatever it might be. But what we're going to be doing is just a single leg box jump. So you're going to stand literally just on your right foot or on your left foot, maybe working that 5 to 8 rep range. But all we're going to do is off of 1 foot, you're going to explode up and land onto the box. So again, that's just working on that single leg burst that we need at the top of a cut. Now, another variation of it is you could jump laterally. This is a little bit more challenging, but all you're going to do is stand on your right foot or your left foot, and we're going to jump on the same foot to the box lateral. So you're going to be here on 1 foot, you explode up, and land. So it's just working on that single foot explosion, which is something that all wide receivers can benefit on when you're making that single leg cut, like on an out route, a post route, a slant route, a double move, whatever it might be. All right, guys, so this next gym exercise for wide receivers is going to work on absorbing force with your cuts when you drop your hips. So one of the biggest things that a lot of guys will say, like, oh, well, anytime they see a video of a wide receiver snapping down, dropping their hips at the top of like a curl, a comeback like we were talking about earlier, is to be like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to tear my ACL. I don't want to hurt my knee. Now, here's the problem with that. When you guys are running a route, and you guys haven't worked on those things like dropping on a dime, dropping your hips, being able to absorb force on your legs, working on stability with your legs, yeah, you're probably going to hurt yourself. Anybody would. You can't take a 40-year-old man who's never ran a route before and just have him go snap down on a dime. He's probably going to hurt himself, right? So that's the same thing with us, even as athletes, even as high school youth athletes. We need to work on these things so it translates to a live game scenario. So what we got here is it's going to be called a box fall, but it's very important that on this box fall, when you guys land, you are landing on the ball of your foot. You are not landing on your heel, and you are actually dropping your butt down. So all we're doing is pretty simple. You're just going to stand on top of a box, on top of a bench, and make sure that maybe you have kind of a softer surface when you land, I'd say, but if you land on your toes, it won't make a difference. So you're just going to simply fall, and when you land, you're going to just simply, essentially snap down. You see how I'm dropping my butt down, see how I'm landing, but I'm landing on the ball of my foot. I'll show you guys again. We want to land left, right, and then right, left. So we fall into it, left, right. And we're trying to work on that stability, that balance, and being able to catch myself. Now, maybe a more advanced thing that you can do if you have the equipment for it to work on that burst and that explosion out of the break is we do this box fall. So we fall, but maybe we have another box set up, maybe like a couple yards away. You fall off of this, you land, and you explode into maybe a broad jump or into a separate box jump, just to work on that drop into a break and that explosion out of the break to be able to accelerate out of this thing and burst. So box falls are another great exercise for wide receivers in the gym. All right, guys, the next gym exercise for wide receivers that we are going to talk about is something for your grip. We cannot make a wide receiver gym video without talking about exercises that are going to help your grip strength improve. So what you're going to need is you're going to need either a 15-pound plate, a 10-pound plate, whatever it might be, and we're going to be working something called a plate flip, okay? So one of the things that will help wide receivers with catching passes is improving their grip strength. So many times guys have weak grip, so when that quarterback throws a ball, maybe it has some heat on it. I don't know necessarily what the situation would be, but it could bounce off my hands. We don't have the grip strength to be able to make those tough catches, the low catches, the catches in traffic. So this exercise can help with that. So what you're going to do is you're going to need a weighted plate, and all you're going to be doing is flipping it end over end. So you're going to start with the plate like this. Make sure that you get your feet out of the way so this plate, in case we drop it, we don't drop it right on my toe. So all you're going to do is flip the plate end over end and try to catch this thing in that like kind of webbing of your hand, your fingers. I'll show you guys again. We flip and we catch. Now again, this is a tough exercise. If you drop it, fine, pick it back up, maybe use a lighter weight, but it's great to build that hand strength, that grip strength, which is gonna help you guys make those tough catches in traffic and just tough catches in general. So grip strength is one of the main things that wide receivers need to work on in the gym. Another great exercise for, if you don't have plates, pull-ups. If you do a pull-up hanging from a bar, that's a great way to also work on that grip strength, which will translate to on-field play. All right, guys, really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like to train with us this offseason, we're going to be traveling out to 12 more states across the country, all the way from Dallas, Texas to Los Angeles, California. So check out that very first link in the description below if you want some more information on that and how you guys can train with us this offseason. I'll see you guys next time.